I want to talk about a portion, a small move within the Zheng Manqing Tai Chi form that is a little more dynamic, a little more athletically challenging than some of the other parts. It's not actually super hard by any external athletic standard. It's not really hard at all. But compared to the rest of the form, with its very gentle and slow transitions and soft movements, it could be challenging for people who have any sort of pre-existing condition or issue with the joints of particularly the right leg, because we're going to pivot on the right leg, then do a sweeping kick. The motion I'm concerned with today is the pivot, not the kick. And that pivot could, if you have any sort of weakness or sprain in the ankle, the knee, or the hip joint, it could twist that or cause a little trouble with that. And if you have balance issues, this move won't be so trivial for you. Now I want to show a clip of the correct and beautiful way to do it, the right way. And then I want to show a back off, an alternative that is trivially easy and extremely gentle in terms of the athletics, the dynamics of it. But as far as the internal development, the back off alternate motion, which is far easier physically, is going to develop the internal power that we're interested in more than the dance-like, perfect, externally visible motion. So it's a very interesting exercise in Taoist paradox here, that the back off, the easier one, the one that people would ignore and despise and think, well, you can't do the real thing, so you got to do the baby version. That's actually far more powerfully internally, and I will show that motion and explain why and how it's more powerful. When you do the turn, you need to end up facing the same direction. Raise your foot, kick with the sides of the foot, lower your hands, touch the heel, touch the sole, relax, rest, feel the surge. Make a large circle with your two fists, beautiful lady's fist. Punch out to the side, keeping your waist oriented to the front corner. When you do the turn, you need to end up facing the same direction. When you do the turn, you need to end up facing the same direction. It's an extremely simple variation. Your arms are held straight out with the beautiful lady's configuration. Straight but not stiff, soft, relaxed, but you don't move them. You keep them held out, and then you simply step with your feet. Your inside foot is your right foot. It's just creeping around clockwise. And the left foot is tracking it at a slightly more extreme angle. It's like walking a bagua circle within a single square foot and making a complete turn. But the key thing you need is the internal part of it. The internal part of it is that even though your feet are doing the motion for you, obviously your feet are carrying you around, right? But mentally, forget about your feet and imagine that giant hands are holding your rib cage, sort of your trunk, the barrel of your trunk, like hands holding a mug. And it is those large hands that are revolving you, that are turning you. So nothing else is moving. Imagine that your body is completely passive, even though obviously it's not. Obviously your feet are doing the work, but forget that. This is mind work here. So you imagine these giant hands are holding your rib cage or your lower trunk area, your mid to lower trunk, and these giant hands are just turning you. So you're completely passive. After doing one circle, you could go around again in the same direction or switch directions. If you can do it this way, so that means it will take all the tension out of your arms and shoulders. You'll forget about your feet. Imagine just that these hands are revolving you. The internal effect when you then go back to quiet standing will be absolutely overwhelming. It may just shake you to the ground sometimes after you work with this a while and get the idea of it. So play with it, enjoy. It's a purely internal thing. What you need to keep in mind, though, is that this will develop the ability for you to take a punch, a really heavy, hard punch. And that's something that Ben Lowe's advanced students can do very well. Most of the advanced students can take an amazingly powerful punch. You wouldn't believe it, just thinking, oh, Zheng Manqing is this hippie baby stuff. But actually they're very tough, and but they don't demonstrate it. It's not demonstrated, because Ben doesn't like that. And the reason is that there was a little scrawny guy who developed this ability under Zheng Manqing back in Taipei in the 50s. He used to demonstrate this on anyone. All kinds of boxers and kung fu guys and tough guys would come and punch him. And no matter how hard they punched, he'd just smile and laugh and take it with absolutely no problem. But one day Ben was in the practice yard, and this guy was taking punches from some monster, man. And the professor walked by, and he very sternly told the scrawny Tai Chi guy, "I don't want to see you demonstrating this anymore. Stop it. Don't do this." And everyone kind of clustered around. Why? And the professor said, "You're able to take punches from people who don't know how to punch. Maybe you've taken 1,000, maybe 10,000, but sooner or later, you're going to meet someone who really knows how to punch, and he is going to kill you. Therefore, never demonstrate this skill. Don't try to show it off and say, oh, I can take it, come on, let's see what you got." Never do that. Treat it as a self-defense mechanism of last resort. But if you do get hit sometime, who knows? This may save your life or save you from a knockout.
大きな右のフック。
こういうタフな選手がね、
はい、
一発でもね、上下の打ち合い。